What is up, everybody? I'm CBMF Productions, and welcome back to another installment of the Nick Games Retrospective. Today we'll be looking at the game that's based off the hit show that just got revived and renewed for a second season, making its property more relevant than ever. So let's look back on iCarly for the Wii. The console version of this game was developed by Blitz Games, who we've covered previously in this series, being responsible for developing both of the Fairly OddParents games for consoles. And we're going to develop many SpongeBob games, most famously Creature from the Krusty Krab, which I'll cover at some point. The game was announced in May 2009, and was released in the States in October later that year, and November in other territories, with the DS version also being released that same day, that version being made by Humansoft. But when both versions came out, they really weren't received that well by critics or audiences alike. That's usually what a story ends for a game like this, but this game is getting quite the cult following. In 2018, 9 years after the game released, a speedrunner by the name of Silo Simon decided to speedrun this game since nobody else attempted it at the time because it's a shovelware licensed game, which is where this guy thrives at so he can claim many world records for such games as Shrek Extra Large, the B-movie game, Madagascar Carts, amongst others. He tested out this game, which led to an entire speedrunning community being birthed ever since that, and it's still going on to this day, with the current world record at this time of this recording being held by PM Obama. There is so much about this community that's just fascinating, and it's been condensed into a YouTube video made by Saltydkdan, one of the first people to speedrun this game that got uploaded to YouTube in November of last year, and it's a very entertaining and informative video that I'll leave a card up somewhere so you can check it out, and I'll probably leave a link down in the description as well. And the audience has mainly grown since this game's resurfaced. Much like the show is based on, many people have come around and praised this game. I mean, just look at the reviews on Google. Overall, very solid and fun game. I got it as a birthday present, and I have to say, I was utterly blown away by the production value. Disclaimer, I don't have a Wii, so I couldn't physically play the game, but when I imagine playing it, it seems very fun. 10 out of 5, IGN. Allah almighty, son, the Unleashed is a good game. I have over 567 hours in this. It can hardly be considered a game, because it's a masterclass god piece, heaven sent amazing game. I thought I was reviewing Sonic Unleashed. This is the most revolutionary experience since bread. I cried just looking at the mirrored cover art, but when the game, oh ho ho, the game is amazing, and not only makes no sense, but the controls feel like wet ass. The Wii was definitely the best console because of this, the PS4 can go die. I love this game so much! It's okay, but Gibby's attacks aren't that good. Freddy is a bit OP, but it's okay if you're an experienced player. Carly has amazing team heal, which gives plus 50% damage each time you do it. Fun game, 4 out of 5 stars, best action RPG ever. This is quite possibly the best JRPG in gaming, and I mean it. From a small side quest in town to the great main quest and stopping Dan Schneider, from total feet control, the Dragon Jaw's optional super boss was also fantastic. The beauty of a video game was truly a masterpiece. I was engaged from start to finish. I would highly recommend this to anyone looking for a great story and beautiful graphics. I love the plot where Gibby was secretly the main villain and Spencer sacrificing himself for Carly was heartbreaking, but in character, and the kissing between Carly and Sam was awesome, and Freddy vs. Gibby was the best fight scene I've ever seen. When Gibby, Drake, and Jaw sacrificed themselves for Carly and the gang so their souls can be used to defeat the sentient eye pair, which is trying to rid society of all technology. This is one of the best games I've ever played, and it's sad that it's such a hidden gem. I love iCarly. I'm watching it right now at 2:46 AM in the morning. McJoe said this game was fun. It was okay, like not 5 stars. But you are giving it 5 stars. But overall, an alright experience. It did come a hamster, December 1973 to February 2077, and it burned my house down, so it's okay. No monkey. Negative 10 out of 0. Would not suggest this game to others, and people who like this game have no taste and should never be trusted. Oh my god, bro, help, I'm lost at Walmart, can't find mommy. Great game, lovely feed. As you can tell, these people are very passionate about this game. But anyways, let's not waste any more time and get into the game. We started the game with Carly and Sam chatting about having weird dreams last night, apparently through video chat instead of talking in person. Did this game predict how our society will mostly be forced to communicate online? Or maybe the developers just had 6 months to make a game, so they didn't have time to make fully animated cutscenes. Instead, we get these very strange looking avatars that bear no resemblance to Miranda, Cosgrove, or Jeanette McCurdy, looking like they walked out of like an animated film with their huge buggy eyes. And they aren't the last strange avatars we see in this game. But getting back into the earth-shattering narrative of this game, after talking about giant hand sandwiches and laptops chasing Sam and Freddy through their school, and Carly dreaming about Freddy being her boyfriend, and Freddy trying to take his shot.
Freddy was my boyfriend.
Sounds like a good dream.
Carly wants this dream that Spencer apparently has, but it appears that Spencer is nowhere to be found.
You should check with Spencer. Doesn't he have that dream interpretation book?
Oh, good idea. But I lost him.
You've lost your older brother?
Imagine if this game has some giant twist that revealed that Spencer was some sort of hallucination because Carly refused to accept the loss of her brother, like it was Goodnight Mommy or some shit. But getting away from the low-rent fan theory creepypasta storytelling, we find Spencer stuck inside a sculpture.
Either that or he's hiding.
I'm not hiding!
Spencer?
I'm not hiding!
It's not like Jerry Trainer's in a bathroom and he's refusing to come out the voice of his game.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, where's your voice coming from?
I'm inside the sculpture!
You're inside?
Yeah,
Well, come out.
I can't. I welded myself in.
Meanwhile, as Carly and her friends are trying to find ways to get Spencer out of this conundrum, Freddy name draws Neville Pepperman, as Carly remembers that she also dreamt about him, trying to take over the show.
We need a brain as big as Neville Peppermin's to work it out.
That's weird. You reminded me. Neville was in my dream too. He was trying to take over iCarly.
Putting on the foreshadowing as big as this guy's forehead. I mean seriously, why is this guy's forehead wider than Hey Arnold's? Anyways, that ends the first cutscenes. We jump to the first of 8 webisodes, as they're called. As we start the first webisode with iCarly getting ready to start another live show as always, but Freddy senses that there's a glitch on the iCarly website, seeing that videos are deleting themselves, but he just chops it up to him seeing things. As we head to the first of 8 batches of minigames throughout the course of this game, they range from trying to balance plates as they're falling, having to swat away hands from taking away foods like pies, chips, candy, and more, along with karate chopping food on a conveyor belt as Sam is appropriating the Japanese culture. Shame on you, Sam. Hashtag cancel Sam from iCarly. No wonder why she's not in the reboot. There's also a minigame where you have to spray people behind the couch with a water sprayer, having to catch falling items in his kitchen with his giant net, trying to wake up Spencer within 5 seconds using an air horn, having to fish out of the apartment building to try and nab certain items, trying to remove mole hairs from Lubert, the hotel manager. There's also this arcade minigame where it's like a knockout Galaga.
That man is playing Galaga.
Looking straight ripped off from Jimmy Neutron Attack of the Twonkies, which is already a knockoff. There's a claw machine minigame where you try to get certain toys within the machine. Okay, there's no way that any arcade place would let that claw be that strong. They usually just put at the weakest setting. Unless you find one of those YouTubers that have their own claw machine and clickbait you into thinking they want an iPhone 5, but in reality they just repackage their own phones. So they make you feel like an idiot because these guys decide to spend their dad's pension on a child's plaything. Tension over. There's also these minigames where you have to place certain items on a Christmas tree or a dog, most of the time in a specific way. There's a minigame where you have a flashlight and you need to spot chiclets. There's a minigame where you have to vandalize a billboard using giant cupcakes with Neville's face on them. Is this game teaching kids that vandalizing is okay if you just don't like somebody's face on a billboard? Just like Better Call Saul? Same thing, right?
Fuck you! You fucking dick!
There's also a minigame where there's this turtle race and you have to make your turtle go faster than any other turtle before by just pointing the Wii remote at the direction it needs to go in. That's how the torch won against the hare. If only that damn rabbit didn't have a Wii remote sticking out of his back pocket. Which for a story published in the 16th century, that was very ahead of its time. But going back into the laundry list of minigames that we have here, there's one where you have to chase this roller to stop people from taking photos of you like paparazzi, despite the fact that Carly and Spencer live in an apartment building. So I don't know what these paparazzi are standing on so they can take photos without falling. There's a minigame where you have to vandalize yet again on multiple objects like statues or stoplights, except there's something usually blocking your path. There's a DDR minigame where you have to shake the Wii remote at a certain speed so the characters can keep on dancing. There's a minigame where you have to slam these doors right in front of Ms. Briggs' face, looking like those 3 doors from It 2017. There's a minigame where you have to lick this mysterious cream. I'll just say it's vanilla ice cream or something like that because this is a kid's game and there are no other dirty thoughts in my mind because I'm a pure person. Anyways, you have to lick this cream until you match what this object is underneath with one of these 4 pictures.
Gravity wins. This time.
And that's finally it for the minigames. Let's actually get into the story of this game, which is not very good. After the first webisode, Spencer complains that his video didn't get featured on their show at all, as Freddy goes through the video files that they had for the show, and Dan Schneider, you son of a bitch. Hopefully this is the only foot reference in this game. God damn it. The next day, the iCarly game prepared for another show, only to find out that some bug in their server has caused all their sent videos for the show to be wiped out, leaving this episode with no weird videos to show.
We're gonna have to do this week's show without any videos.
No way!
Come on, Sam. We can do it. We'll just make it work.
Ugh, Freddy, what do we pay you for around here?
You don't pay me.
But they managed to make a good show regardless, as Freddy manages to salvage some of the deleted videos.
I just reintegrated the ghost data from the secondary server and...
Whoa, did you swallow a nerd burger or something?
Then it's revealed the person behind the curtain is Neville Pepperman, a famous iCarly foe, is the one behind the bug that's on their server, and plans to destroy everything that Carly and her friends have built in this show.
You will rue this day. Yes! The rue is coming to you!
Prepare to hear this phrase repeated throughout the rest of the game. I'm serious, if you take a shot every time someone says "rue the day," your liver will be dismantled beyond repair like Nicolas Cage at the ending of Leaving Las Vegas within the first 15 minutes.
Rue the day. Rue the day. Rue the day. Rue the day.
I think you'll rue the day.
No, you'll rue the day.
You'll rue the day.
Rue the day.
Rue schmoo.
Spew.
Flu.
Chew.
You'll rue the day.
You'll rue the day.
Rue the day.
Rue the day.
Rue.
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 Rue, rue, rue.
I rue this day.
Professor Rue the day?
No. Soon I will be its captain, and I will sail it onto the rocks of ruing doom.
He's gonna rue the day.
Freddy. Talking of ruining the day.
After that, we head into episode 3, where Neville's virus Neville Lab infected Freddy's laptop, causing all the files on his hard drive to be corrupted, and the website also mostly being disrepaired. But Carly and Sam are still somehow able to do their show.
You had one job. Just the one?
But after their show, Neville once again threatens Carly that her show will be destroyed, but they're too busy speaking in their own made-up language.
Tungle Farge Tincom Nibble.
Yeah, and Trango Wing Wing Woof.
Stribble noob! Tang thimbley noob!
Then in episode 4, it seems like everything has gone back to normal, but then Neville shows them disrupt the iCarly broadcast, leading to slight variations in the minigames that we played earlier. But our crew somehow manages to salvage the show, knowing they need to stop Neville at all costs. Why not just take a break from the show and just go to a computer repair store to get it fixed? It's obvious that Spencer has money, despite being a struggling artist. He lives in a big ass apartment with multiple floors, in Seattle no less. And I'm pretty sure the rent ain't cheap there, but what do I know? Then in episode 5, Freddy manages to set up a firewall to block Neville from screwing over their show any longer, as they won't stop saying "rue the day."
How dare you appropriate my favorite phraseology for your own cheapening and nefarious entertainment?
But what does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
Then afterwards, it's revealed that Freddy's firewall didn't work to keep Neville from blocking their show from airing live. Neville finally winning.
Neville! This day is the day I have long foretold. The day on which iCarly finally went off the air. The day each of you shall say unto yourselves, I rue this day!
Then in episode 6, Carly and her friends plan to do a show outside Neville's house somehow, so his mom will punish him from screwing up iCarly. Despite showing in the series itself that getting all that equipment out of the apartment is tough as it is. But they realize that Neville and his mom aren't home, so Freddy decides to track his IP address, while Spencer's a cameraman. Then afterwards, Freddy finds that Neville is in a cabin in the forest out of the state, and he says that if Neville tries to hack iCarly ever again, he won't be able to do so.
I know where Neville is.
Great!
He's somewhere in a forest out of state.
Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe a bear will eat him.
Or maybe he'll accidentally read the Necronomicon, and it'll cause him to mutilate himself with a turkey cutter. Anything could happen. Then in episode 7, everything seems fine yet again, until Freddy can't get one program off his laptop that is password locked. And because the iCarly game can't seem to figure out the password, these sim versions of iCarly and Sam pop up that say that iCarly is lying to make their fans not like their show anymore.
iCarly is trash. I hate it.
Sam, what are you saying?
I didn't say anything.
I am Carly, and even I think my show is lame. What? Who said that?
Okay. After yet another show, they keep trying to unlock the Neville program by guessing passwords, but they manage to unlock this program after finding out the password is password.
I just keep thinking the password must be password.
Well, we know that's not right.
Are we sure?
What do you mean?
You typed it in correctly, right?
Yeah,
But did you press OK?
of course I did. I think.
Try it again.
Password is password. And okay.
This is Sim Neville. This program is now unlocked.
All right!
Yeah!
We did it!
Great!
Woo!
As the unlocked Sim Neville, which why would you put a sim version of yourself in the program that could screw you over is beyond me. It's like planting a Battle for Bikini Bottom having a don't obey switch. But I guess because it's a game made for babies, who cares about actually having a good plot? Anyways, after getting into episode 8, the final chapter, Carly and Freddy decide rather than delete the Sim Neville program, they decide to reprogram him to praise iCarly and be on their side, and defend him if Neville tries to screw them over again. He tries to, but Sim Neville hacks his laptop somehow, and gets the attention of Neville's mom because that's how computers work, getting him in trouble as he's defeated.
I'm going to delete you. I do not think so. Oh, really? What makes you so sure? Because I have just been speaking with our mother. What? No! Yes, and I have told her everything. You wouldn't. No, you didn't. She is not very pleased. Help! Help!
Bye, Neville.
We get one more dialogue scene between Carly and Spencer, talking about their dreams, circling back to the beginning, as they celebrate their victory. Look back on their journey learning a very valuable lesson that I'm unsure of what the actual message is, but I'm sure is valuable, as they decide to get some food and a smoothie as the game ends. For a licensed game of this style, it goes by pretty quick. If you're not speedrunning this and playing this game single player mode, you can probably be within an hour and a half. And for a party game, that's the average length for a party game for one round. The voice acting from the 5 actors that return from the show, who are the only characters in the game period, do their voices well and try to work with the material they work with as best as possible. And it doesn't seem like the actors are just sleepwalking through their roles. As for the controls, they're competent for a Wii game with motion controls, and the majority of the games are very easy to understand and play through. Plus, each game is a 5-second version of a slight variation whenever Neville really comes into play, always keeping you on your toes in some aspects. Plus, there are a couple more things that you can do, such as buy new backgrounds and props to decorate your own rooms, that do add a little bit of flavor. And I do like hearing the iCarly theme instrumental during the dialogue scenes in between minigames, and the music in general isn't bad for a game like this. And that's all I got. Now let's just get into the rest of it. This game, for what it gets right, there's infinitely amounts more that gets wrong. First of all, there's a very strange IP to turn into a party game. There have been other Nickelodeon party games before, such as Nickelodeon Party Blast, SpongeBob Likes Camera Pants, amongst others, but they have themes that fit the shows that they're in. The vast majority of the minigames have nothing to do with the show itself. I know iCarly is known for having a bunch of random stuff in there, but when you think of iCarly, do you really think first of pulling wart hairs, playing arcade games, smacking hands away from a pie straight out of Schneider's Bakery? There's very little references to the show, and when there are references, they go overkill with it. Another issue is the minigame selection. A lot of these minigames are just variations of the exact same types of games you play in other party games. And even in this game, they just copy themselves multiple times. And I had a similar issue with the Barnyard game, which was also heavily reliant on minigames. The selection isn't well placed, and it leads to become bored fairly early on in the game, because it's no longer that fun or that challenging if you're over the age of 3, because it's just so easy. The graphics for the game don't look that good either, even by 2009 standards, with a lot of the game looking way too chic, and the character models all looking like Coraline knockoffs. And the biggest issue I have with this game period is the story. It is terrible. I understand this is a licensed game on the Wii, but these adults that wrote the story, couldn't you come up with something better? This feels like somebody who hasn't been in high school in at least 2 decades, trying to be cool and hip with the latest generation of kids, by trying to Google all these technological aspects of hard drives and firewalls and mainframes, and not understanding the terminology of any of it. Plus, seeing the entire story layout over the course of a AOL chat board doesn't help this case either. It makes me pay more attention to the bad story and dialogue, because that's all I have to go off of. Speaking of, the dialogue is by far the worst I've heard out of any licensed game I've ever played. I've played a lot of shovelware over the years. It's all just so bad. From Spencer's language, all the insults people try to throw at each other, the constant saying of ruining the day, it's all, I don't like to use this term because I think it's very overused, but it's just so cringeworthy. Even to the point where I had to re-listen through all the dialogue scenes for the plot summary. I had to take breaks because my ears felt like they were bleeding through just the straight out badly written dialogue. And it's not like the show itself didn't have its moments of bad writing and cringe. It certainly does looking back on it, but compared to this stuff, it makes that show look like Batman the Animated Series. Kids deserve more than this Nickelodeon and Blitz games. Beyond that, the game is very repetitive. The game repeats the same minigames over and over and over again, similar to Barnyard, but at least with that game you had an open world to explore and didn't feel as claustrophobic and as small as this game felt. You can feel how rushed this game is because of very little content is in the game. It has a short length, but it drags considerably, and mostly everything, especially the cutscenes, go on way too long and makes the game feel longer than it actually is. And it just isn't a fun party game. I just can't imagine bringing 3 other friends to play this game with, other than ironic reasons, to play and actually have fun, even as a kid. This is just yet another shameless license game that was just solely made to cash in on the show and nothing more. Overall, iCarly for the Wii is just simply a very bad game, and one of the worst I've played in its retrospective thus far. It does have a few decent aspects like bringing the cast from the show to voice their characters. It's a short game, and there are a couple of interesting features, but the game is just so dull. You can tell there just wasn't much thought put into the game. It feels similar to so many other party games that fails to have a personality of its own. The story is a joke, and the dialogue is just so atrocious that you'd rather just mute the TV than listen to any of the words spoken out of these people's mouths. Despite the voice acting is good, the minigames are nothing to write home about, and are just padding to fill the requirements of a releasable game. There's something about this game that I can't see kids getting more out of other party games, like Mario Party or Wii Party or Crash Bash, or even Sonic Shuffle, that this game does better. It's just a shell of a game that, apart from the speedrunning community liking this game because it's short and easy, has basically no legacy. And there's a reason not many people look back at it fondly, on the level of something like Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's a really bad game, And that's all I have to say on the matter. I give, no pun intended, iCarly a D, a 3 out of 10, and a skip recommendation. So that's iCarly. What do you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more contents. I'm CBMF Productions, and I'll see you on the next level.
Nick Games.